YouTube fans, Chelsea fans. We are back. We are back once again. We're going to talk a little bit about Jordan Henderson. We're going to talk about Lacroix signing his contract. We'll get into a little more about Palace because Palace might want Josh Achempong, and then we got some more later on. But first, Jordan Henderson is set to join Chelsea. 2-year deal. He will sign a contract later this week. His contract's till 2028. Obviously, it's 2 years. It's good for him to have that agreement in his contract, that gentleman's agreement with Brentford, because now he can come to us for free. So we literally got him basically as a free agent, technically. I doubt he's going to be making $1 million, a week here. So we'll be able to pay for him. We'll be able to put him in that wage structure that Blue Co just loves and adores so much. It's just overall great business. And what a move for him this is at his age. I mean, no way he thought he was going to get any more big moves like this. At least if I was in his position, I know I wouldn't. He knows he'll be a backup, but it's a chance for him to, come in and win trophies for a couple of years, I like the signing, if anybody's upset with it, if he was going to Arsenal, I'd probably make fun of Arsenal fans about it, but we know what he's coming in for. We know he's coming in to pretty much, honestly be a coach. He's going to be a coach more than he's going to be a player in the squad, which is fine with me. He's probably not going to start a single game for Chelsea ever. But again, I like the signing. I love that Blue Co did really reflect. They locked in, and we feel like we're an actual real club now. And hopefully we continue on like this. It's not perfect, but we're moving in the right direction. And it feels good to know we might finally and truly be back. I know it's a bold statement with Blue Co, but I'm really feeling it, guys. I'm really feeling like we're really starting to make some real progress under Blue Co finally after 4 or 5 years, whatever. Either way, good backup. He'll do a good job of helping the young boys out. Again, he'll be mostly a coach, I feel like. We finally get the oldies in the squad for the first time forever, along with Danny Welbeck. He'll kind of lead the front line. He'll be the oldie of the front lines. Henderson will be the oldie of the midfield, and then defense was going to be, John Stones. Maybe we'll sign another old head in there, but I like the signings. I think they're great. And now Tosin looks young compared to the rest of the squad. Anyway, we move. Lacroix has officially signed his contract with Chelsea. I feel pretty safe with him in the back line. I see a lot of people praising him a ton. I can't sit here and be like I'm over the moon about it. If I'm being honest, Chelsea fans, do not bash me for that. But hopefully, he comes and does good. I just don't really know much about him. Should I be more excited? Maybe. I just feel like it's not some crazy. If we were signing Van Dijk, I'd be over the moon, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's that, crazy to bring a player in like this. But hopefully he can prove me wrong. We'll have to see if that can happen. But let me look up some of his stats here on FootMob. And the portraits, which I'll have hopefully up on screen if I can figure it out. 43 touches, 16 chances created. I mean, you guys can see this. 86% for aerial duels won, 82 for defensive contributions. It looks pretty good, if I'm being honest. In Crystal Palace last season, 55 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 7.1 average rating, which is actually pretty high on FootMob for a defender. He's 26, French. Whatever. So I think it's a good signing. Again, I'm not going to sit here and, pretend I'm the most excited man ever when I really just don't know how it's going to go. So, but could he come here and become, maybe a Chelsea legend? Does it solve the defensive problems that we always have? And what happens with Fofana now? Because if I'm Fofana, I'm sitting there going, it's time for me to get out of here. I'm going to basically be a third choice, maybe fourth string, depending on how much he wants to play Achempong and Tosin, which we know Tosin played in the first preseason game. So, because it'll definitely be back. If I'm him, I'm going, I need to get out of here. This is not where I need to be in my career anymore. Let me move on. But I'm not him, so we'll see, because he's making, $200,000 a week here. So at the same time, why would you want to leave? But it's crazy how he spent $70 million in $200K a week, for him to be a backup. That's a backup at Chelsea FC, a man making that much money, and a man we spent that much on. But it's also his fault when he gets injured 24/7. So I think Fofana and Co are a really good partnership. I think when they do play together, they are very good. So, and maybe we could see more of them together, because we know 2 years ago when they were both fit, they played really well. So I don't know. That's still there. But at this point, I think we do need to sell Chalobah. there's no point in keeping him as a backup because, we have Josh, Tosin, Fofana as backups. So we don't need Chalaba. We can get the pure profit from him. I like him. Obviously, I wouldn't mind if he stayed. But when we have so many defenders, we need to start moving on. We move, but we also stay on the Palace topic. They are interested in a loan move for Josh Achempong, but it's unclear if Chelsea are willing to sanction an exit. This, maybe be good for Josh if, he's going to be here and not play that much because I want him to go somewhere where he's going to play and get minutes. I still have high hopes for him. I just want him to go somewhere where we can get great game time, If that can still happen at Chelsea, that's fine with me. I think Palace have been good defensively recently with, players like Chalaba, players like Lacroix, who we have. But if he were to go, hopefully he can grow a lot. I haven't seen anything else about it today, honestly, so maybe that was just a little throw out there kind of thing for clicks. Who knows? But again, I don't want to loan him, but if he'll play a lot, it's fine with me. I just want what's best for his development. I've rather said a million times, but past managers just never played him. Maresca, Liam Rossigna, Pochettino. I understand Pochettino because that was years and years ago, but I don't know. The managers know best, and they're not playing Josh for some reason. Coincident? I don't know with him. So we'll have to see. But if I was Josh, I would have left already because I would have been like, bro, I just never play. We've had injuries in the past seasons, and he still hasn't played. And yes, he's young, and he's got a mistake in there, but a great player's in there. And we know Madrid wanted him, a couple years ago, whatever. If I was him, I would have been like, yo, I'm going there. Anyway, we move. Lewis Hall is Chelsea's dream signing, target to replace Marc Cucurella. Despite leaving Chelsea on poor terms, Hall could be convinced to return from Xavi Alonso. Mate, work your magic and get this man in. He's still so young. It feels like he should be 25. And I think he's better than Hato. I think he's one of the better left backs in the league. I just haven't seen enough from Hato yet, so I'll take it. I think it would be an upgrade. It's a first-team player, And if we do sign a player like this, and the fact that we're even looking at him just makes me think even more and more we are going to play the 3-4-2-1. So Palestra is just going to be a normal right-back signing. He'll just be a backup to Reece. But with how much Reece gets injured, we know how much he'll play, but it also depends on Gusto. Whatever. I'm getting off topic a little bit. Xavi really has turned this whole team around. If you can get Lewis Hall too, man, then that's complete almost. What else would you need? And maybe a better goalkeeper next season. But then if Mike Pendas is going to come in, do we even need a new goalkeeper? So I don't know, but I want to look at Lewis Hall here. Maybe I can put his stats up. 96% for touches. Whatever. I don't even need to put these stats up. They're decent. We all know stats aren't everything. His transfer value is $43 million, so we probably get him for 60. And, mate, Newcastle are falling apart, man. Eddie Howe's now gone, I saw today. They lost Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali. They're falling apart. So, Lewis Hall, leave Newcastle before Newcastle leaves you now. Anyway, we move. Chelsea are looking for a new midfielder, apparently, and it's possible Camavinga might be in the market, while Xavi Alonso is a big admirer of, I say, Tchouaméni. That's how I pronounce it. But I'm assuming this only happens if Enzo Fernandez leaves. I didn't think we'd get anybody else besides Henderson, so I think it is dependent on Enzo. But I would take both of them. Tchouaméni, though, has had his anger management fucking problems when him and Valverde got in a fight. At Madrid, we know that. It's not great. But I've always liked Camavinga. I've been following him for years. I think he could be great here, a great asset. We know he could play in multiple positions because it was a huge meme a couple years ago. But we'll see if this, ends up becoming anything more. Last thing I want to talk about, do we think, related to this topic, what Enzo will leave? Because we've been talking about it all summer. I think Man City now are the only option for him if he were to go anywhere. But if Man City lose Rodri for about $60 million to Madrid, I think they will go on for Enzo because they know they're going to need a player like that. But Chelsea are only going to sell him for 120. So, City, you're going to have to come up with some big boy money. Even if we lose him, I would have faith in Xavi Alonso to be able to figure it out. I don't want Enzo to go, but back when, it was a team-based team, with individuals like Palmer, Enzo, whatever, I would want him to stay. But now that it's very manager-based because we know Xavi Alonso is good enough to get the job done, I don't mind as much, but I do love him. So I'm just hoping Roger stays at City at this point, and I think it's very 50-50. Anyway, if you've made it to this point in the video, hope you enjoyed. And make sure you like and subscribe, please, and thank you. And I will see you guys for video 2 later today. Goodbye.